I have a few things to show you today, and it is spring, obviously, and my plants are blooming outside, and I have plants blooming inside, so it's a fun time of year. My name is Gabie. This is Gabie's Knit Goodies, and I love to knit. I have 3 kids, a husband, 2 dogs, a couple of cats, and my daughter has a hamster. I homeschool my kids, and I do a little bit of knitting design as well as knitting lots of stuff of other people's designs. So this podcast is all about knitting and I guess a little bit about life and other things that interest me, but primarily knitting. So I can't wait to have you join me in this discussion. I wanted to point out first this morning my beautiful little pot. My daughter, who is 10, she's 10 now, made this in her Happy Handicrafts class. Like I said, we homeschool, but she goes to a co-op. And they broke plates and plastered them on a pot. And it turned out really cute. And while I'm on the subject of plants, I am not very good at keeping houseplants alive. But this begonia here, I've been keeping it alive and blooming since, I don't know, like last fall. So it's been a while. I'm very proud of myself here. And then this thinks it's Christmas time again. A Christmas cactus, look how beautiful it is. And it is April. So not Christmas. I don't know why it's blooming again, but I think it's beautiful and I'm enjoying it. It did bloom at Christmas time too. So I'm hoping it'll do that every year. I'm okay with it blooming twice a year. So I have lots of color over here. I'm not wearing a lot of color though, am I? I'm wearing my Ranunculus sweater by Café Knit Midori. I won't really talk about this because I did just make a video just to talk about this separate. And so you can check that one out. And I've talked about it a little bit in my previous podcast, but it's actually done, so this counts as a finished object. Super excited. And it's a great time of year to have it because it's super airy. Although, I will say because of the color, which I really love neutrals to wear, I will probably wear this a lot in the fall, probably even more than the springtime. Okay, so let's talk about recent finished objects other than what I'm wearing. Okay, I'll have to put a picture up because I don't have all of them, and I also, one of them's not wearing his little bow tie. But I made my children some little chicks, I guess. Maybe they're ducks. I was intending to make chicks for Easter. I really like to knit my kids' toys. All right, let me pause just a second and let you know that there might be some noise over here because I have my 2 dogs and one of them is chewing a bone. But at least he's not barking. Let's see if I can show him to you. There he is. They're sweet puppies. But this one's still young and definitely a puppy, and he likes to get into my yarn if possible and tries to pull my sweater, which really makes me upset. Let's see if I can get this back right. Almost. Okay, so back to the knitting. Yes, for Easter, I made my kids. This is kind of last minute. It was a couple days before Easter, and I realized I had not made them anything, and I like to make them something, and so I wanted to do that. So I found a pattern on YouTube, which I will link it below, for these little chicks, and I'll put a picture up, or if I haven't already, and I made 3 of them, of course. So initially, I made this little guy, and I used leftover yarn, so it totally counts as my stash bust-in yarn, cow, GKG stash busting cow that I'm doing. And you guys should submit your stuff too, by the way. Any stash project or any project you've done with stash yarn that's you've had prior to 2021. I've had acrylic yellow yarn for forever in my bin, and I use it periodically, but it's still there. It's like that magic ball that like never ends. And I actually held it 3, and I used Stephen West's concept for that. I don't know if y'all have ever seen that before. And this is not, I'll show that in a minute. I will show you how to make a bulky yarn out of a fingering weight yarn without having to like reball anything. It really works quite well. So anyways, I used size 8 needles and I knit this. It's very simple to knit and very quick. But I didn't enjoy working with the bulky yarn as much. It was stiff because I was using fairly small needles for that bulk of yarn. Anyways, I decided to knit my girls' ones out of just single strand of the yarn, so it's like a fingering weight. And they came out a little smaller, but very cute and very soft. This one's much stiffer. So a big one and the little one. Go like this. And I knit 3 of them, and they really like them. They're very cute, and they love it when I knit them things. So I'm glad I did that. Okay, so in order to make this, real quick, how they're made is you knit flat. So you're gonna knit, it's like 24 stitches, and then you increase, and then you bind off on both sides, and then you knit a rectangle at the top. But you don't bind off those last stitches. You pull the yarn through, and that gives you the top of the head there. And then you seam it up here and on those bound off stitches, on those increases, and then your initial bind off. And yeah, pretty simple knit. I would highly recommend it though, because they turned out cute. I used felt for the beak and black yarn for the eyes. And this guy did have a bow tie. It's not there anymore. So in order to do the thicker yarn, I saw a Stephen West video, which I can try to link that down below maybe. I don't know if I'm supposed to do that or not. But it's a pretty simple technique. Make your slip knot. And then you can take your yarn, put it through your slip knot, pull it up nice and long, and then you do that again. And as you can see, you have 3 strands held together. So if this were a fingering weight yarn, it would make it almost a bulky weight yarn. And so when you run out, so you knit with that just like it's one regular piece. And when you run out of your triple stranded, you just take that loop here and pull your yarn through and just keep going. So every time you run out, you just pull it right through. So you don't have to rewind anything. And so to start off your bulky project, you would, make a nice long chain like that, or triple strand. You can do your slip knot and just put it on your needle and knit with this. It works quite well. Like I said, whenever you run out of your triple strand, you just bring more yarn through and work with it just like that. Now my dog has a squeaky toy. Okay, I don't have any other finished objects at the moment. I do have an update on my Penguono. That is going okay. I did something really stupid. I finished my back like y'all saw last time. And then I did So here's the back. I saw that last time. And I did the welts, and I did this part that's like under the arm. And so this, and then this is the front of my right front here. So I did that whole thing. And I'm like striping it, and in order to use my super bulky yarn but not have it totally change my dimensions to make it really big in some places, I just am using it like one strand at a time, or one row at a time. And that's working pretty well. So I'm alternating between the, what is this yarn? I forget what this yarn is. It's one of those like 100% slightly rare breed yarns. Anyways, it's really pretty, this color. And then my funky gray with the colorful strand inside, and my blue and my pink. So it's actually a little bit sheer because it's knit on large needles. Yeah. So this side's done, and underarm is done, and the back is done. And then on the other side, I did my welts, and I did my underarm, and then I actually did the whole, almost the entire side of the other side on the front here. And then I laid it out, and here's a picture, guys. Can you tell what's wrong? I can't believe I did this. So on this other side, instead of adding my stitches so that it actually would be up on this shoulder here, on this front, I added them on the bottom and just kept knitting like that. And so it was like this whole, was it left side or whatever, was upside down. I was so upset. So after I ripped that out, I put it aside for a little bit, and then I did cast on the new stitches over here in the proper direction this time. But I haven't really picked it up and knitted a lot since then because I was so frustrated with it. But I've done a lot since last time, and I think it's coming along nicely. It's a funky knit, totally outside my normal style. I am, or I was before I messed it up, I was really excited and kind of anxious to finish it so that I could wear it. I do like the colors here and all, and I wanted to wear it around the house. And then I got really frustrated because I had knit so, however many hours, and I had to rip it all out. So anyways, pay attention. Don't just assume you're doing it always all right. Pay attention to which direction you're supposed to cast on those stitches. I might be the only person who's ever done that for the Penguino. I don't know. Anyways, if I didn't mention it already, Penguono, it's a Stephen West pattern. These are all stash yarns that I've had for forever, like years and years and years. Surprisingly, moths haven't eaten them yet. Okay, so hopefully I'll get back on that project. Honestly, if the weather is warm, I may not really knit on it until it gets a little colder again. But so back to me ripping it out and the frustration I had. As you can tell here on this side, I'm doing like the single stripe of the chunky yarn and then a small stripe of the other yarns in between, which means when you rip it out, you get like tiny little balls of yarn. And I'm hoping that they're in a good enough order where when I go to like put all these tiny balls, when I go to use them, they will be the right length. I'm not sure. It might be a piecey mess when I go to knit it back on the other side. the correct direction. Anyways, that's certainly not Steven's fault. That's totally my fault for knitting it wrong. Okay, on to other topics. Y'all remember my crazy yarn? I showed it, this was one of my acquisitions when I went out west to Wyoming. And I decided to knit a hat out of it. It's a sport weight yarn. I am making up my pattern. I did an extremely large brim, long brim, because I think that I just want to fold it up, most likely when I'm wearing it, or at least have the option to that will give me a thicker band, but I didn't want to do a permanently folded band. I don't really know why. I guess I like options. And I did a 2x2, 2x3 rib there, and then I'm just playing around with different stitches. I did a section of pearls, and now I am doing, actually this is a little brioche, just single strand brioche. It's basically looks just like a regular ribbing, but it makes it a little bit squishier by doing that brioche stitch. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna do next. I played around with some slip stitches and then didn't like what I did, so I ripped it out. But we'll see what I do next. I'm excited though, because it's changing from the blue and cream to this blue and chocolate brown. I like that. So that's exciting. And that is living in my bag that my friend made me. I think it's called an origami bag. You have one short strap and one long strap, and to close it you put the long one in the short one. Isn't that cute? Okay, I have one more whip. This work in progress is a gift for someone, and I don't think she watches this, but Lynn, if you're watching, don't watch anymore. Okay, so I got this yarn, which is cotton and yak. It's extremely soft, and I really like it. I got it on sale at my local yarn store, Untangled Pearls, and it's called Concept Cotton Yak, color 105, 60% cotton, 30% wool, and 10% yak. So I got it for, oh, you can see it here. I got it for $3 a ball, which I think is pretty good. And let me see how many, let's see, this says it is, how many yards? 142 yards, 50 grams, 130 meters. So I have designed a shawl. It is a triangular shawl, fairly simple triangular shawl to knit. And it starts at the small end. And you increase on one side. And I've done my side with the increases. I've done a little garter with a little lace increase there, a little yarn over increase. And I also have a little twisted knit stitch to give it a nice clean look right there. Oh, my dog took my daughter's little duck, or chickie. Oh, poor chickie. Okay, the dog really likes these. So if you don't have a child, but you have a dog, I highly recommend a chickie. because he loves them and he keeps stealing them. And then my youngest girl gets very upset. Anyways, back to the shawl. So the person I'm knitting this for loves red. That's like her neutral. And I like this red because it's not a garish red. It's kind of it's a deep red. I really like it. So like I said, this is my increased side, which will be the long side of the triangle. And the center is all garter stitch, so you're knitting on both sides, which is nice and simple. And then the fun is in this detail here on the edge. It's a little bit lacy and a little bit bobbly, but the bobbles are very easy to do, and they are not super tall bobbles. There, you can see there. They're a different way to do bobbles than I have ever done before in the past. And like I said, they're more raised ovals rather than like the round, really pokey outy bobbles, which I personally like. So I've gotten this far. It's a very, how do you say it? Relaxing knit. I memorized the lace pattern, this edging pattern within 2 or 3 repetitions. It's very easy to memorize, and so definitely like Netflix binge-worthy type of knit. So I'm very excited about this. This is definitely one of those knits that I can keep in my purse and pick up and go with it anytime, and I can put it down anytime. There's no worry about, I'm not worried about stitch counts or memorizing where I am, because it's just a very simple process knit. So I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Very relaxing, and I think she will love it. I have never knit her a shawl before. I've knit her a hat, but never a shawl, and she hinted a while back that she wanted one. So her birthday's in June, and I'm hoping to get it done before then, and I'm excited. If anyone is interested in this, I am writing the pattern up, and in probably another month, by the time I finish my shawl, the pattern will be finished for test knitting. So I have that, and it is so soft. I love it. Love it. Oh, and I'm knitting these on size 8 needles. Size 7 needles, excuse me. These are Knit Picks, the Knit Picks wooden needles that are super fun colors. All right, I think that's about all of my knitting, but I do have one acquisition. This is from, I went to Joann Fabrics with my daughter because she needed yarn, and I could not resist this, and I almost bought more, but I only had a coupon enough to get a discount on one, so I just bought one. I really was holding myself back. I really liked the look of this. Okay, it's big twist graphic, and it is 35% acrylic and 56% cotton, 9% polyamide. If you look at it, it's got like the corally colors and little black specks in it, and cream and pinky kind of colors and grayish in there. It just, I don't know, it screamed like I'm perfect for summer, knit with me, which is exactly what the display was for. Oh, my battery's about dead, and I'm almost done anyways, so I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you're having a lovely spring and that your flowers are going to be blooming soon if they're not already. Bye.